So I got a new mug here, PG&E, ironic. They're the ones owned by Rothschild's a huge investor, and they're the ones turning off the power, and they have the weather modification patents, and they've been found guilty of starting fires and stuff. But it was a good mug. I just found it at the thrift store for like $1, I think, and it's plastic. That's what I was looking for because my previous sample jars have all been glass and they've broken. So zero in on safety. How funny is that? Safety, right? Anyways, so we got plastic this time, and I left it in for about 12 hours. In the past, I would do about 7-8 hours, and I was always trying to bring it out of the freezer before it cracked, but now I don't have to worry about it. It's plastic, so I can do a really long time, and then we can get a nice, solid, test formation where it's not melting when I'm looking at it. So, we see those stalactites, and we see a vortex in the middle. Let's go take a look at it in the sun. So the water freezer tests I've done in the past they usually have a lot of stalactites, and we see those on the bottom there. Again, the mini tactical was on the bottom, and then we see a very defined vortex, tornado vortex in the middle, and then we see these striations almost like petals of a flower coming off a stem on the side. You see those? So that's interesting. And again, the water freezer tests are they're evidence of a structuring effect, and that structuring is what they're doing to the dead, incoherent, chaotic EMF, that dead energy. They're going to structure that much the same way they do to the water. And so, let's take a look at the control sample and go from there. All right, this is our control sample now. We left this one over 12 hours, so you can see that it started to crack a little bit. And I'll take it outside in the sun real quick here so we can get a better look at it. But just initially in the light, I don't see really much. I definitely don't see that little tornado vortex, but let's see what it looks like in the light. All right, now we're out in the sun, and again, this is our control sample that we left in for, I would say, about 15 hours. So a little bit longer than the organized sample. We'll try to keep it at 12 hours this next time. And we don't really see much. We don't see any sort of really like stalactites. We don't see the vortex in the middle. So let's see what our organized sample looks like now using another device, another orgone device. Okay, so this is our control water sample. It's now defrosted completely. We're going to use the same sample. That way we have a little bit more accurate of a test. And this is the orgonite we're going to use, which is kind of a standard freebie. So we'll see what happens with this one. Okay, it's been about 16 and a half hours since we put this in the freezer last night at 10 o'clock. And again, this is our piece. This is just a typical freebie here that I include in all orders. Some are a little bigger and smaller. That's kind of a bigger one. But let's see what our test looks like here. So immediately we see the vortex in the middle, and we see all the stalactites around it. And just didn't see that vortex or the stalactites at all on the control sample. The control sample, see that? Yeah, let's go out in the sun. Yeah, the control sample just did not have that little vortex in the middle. And I didn't see any stalactites either. Stalagmites. I'm sure everyone likes hearing me say stalactites over and over and over. I don't know what else to call them. They're little spiky formations, so get some pictures of this one, and we'll do another test with another device and then another control sample. We'll just keep doing these. And that vortex in the middle, that structuring, is really interesting phenomenon. Okay, today's water freezer test. This is a freebie that I give on usually like combo packs, bigger orders. It's kind of like a very tiny little dream machine. We left it in there for about 15, 16 hours. And immediately you can see that vortex in the middle, that tornado. Let's call it a tornado vortex. It's pretty appropriate, I think, because it does look like a little tornado. And so that's pretty cool. And you know, in these tests, it's like right under it. So let's go look at it in the sun. Pretty cool. And you can see those there's kind of these little stalactite formations. It's interesting. My old freezer tests, they were just like these crazy stalactites, and you would see a vortex, but it wasn't as defined as this. So I'm doing these freezer tests longer. Those ones were like 6-7 hours, and those were with glass, like I've mentioned a couple times. So with plastic, my stupid PG&E cup, and like 14, 15 hours. Someone commented on one of my YouTube videos that I need to leave them in longer. So I think now we're getting a more accurate test. Before we had those crazy stalactites, but now we see those and more defined tornado vortex in the middle. So now we're going to do a control test tonight, and then we'll take a look at that tomorrow. And this sample's now defrosting a bit, and you can see the tornado a little more clear. But it's definitely that energetic vortex that again, I feel is the, you know, when under Kirlian photography, you'll see, you know, a pyramid that has, you know, a copper Tesla coil. You'll see that there are pictures out there where there's a vortex overhead. And I feel like with the orgone devices there, it literally creates a vortex of life force. And that's what's structuring the water, makes it taste so delicious. My kids love drinking this water after it, you know, completely defrosts. They like can't get enough of it. So I think if you try charging your water for as long as you can, you'll see that it tastes delicious. Okay, here's our control sample. We left it in a little long, so it actually cracked. So I'm gonna need to get yet another container. We'll go with plastic because it lasts longer than glass, but you know, we're looking for similarities and differences from, you know, the orgonite sample, and this looks pretty consistent with our other control sample where there's no tornado vortex in the middle. We don't really see any stalactites really. It's just kind of, you know, nothing really there. It's just kind of frozen block, you know. So this is actually purified water too. It's filtered water from our orgone water filter. So it's not like it's disgusting tap water with you know, a bunch of toxins in it, but we definitely do not see that tornado vortex or stalactites, and that being consistent with our last control sample.